Greetings, true believers, and welcome to another chilling episode of History of the Marvel Universe. Today's tale begins 3,000 years ago during a forgotten era of ancient Egypt. Under the rule of Pharaoh Aram-Set, a group of Egyptians abducted and enslaved the Swahili people of northern Africa. This included their strong and wise warrior king, Nkantu. Standing over 7 feet tall, Nkantu was as mighty as he was large, but even he was put to work building Aram-Set's temple. While the Swahili worked during the day, at night they plotted, waiting for their moment. However, the pharaoh suspected the African tribe would rebel against him and decided to execute them upon the completion of his temple. And so time marched on and the garish monument to Aram-Set was built. Their labors completed, the slaves were then led underground. With no more time afforded to plan, the Swahili tribe rose up against their slave masters, kicking off a bloody rebellion. The cruel pharaoh was felled by a spear thrown by Nkantu himself. The warrior king intended to deliver similar punishment to the high priest Nephris, but the crafty sage was prepared and doused Nkantu with a powerful paralyzing agent. Nephris bound the immobile king and prepared a punishment unlike any that had ever been given. Nkantu was wrapped in the bandages used in the mummification process, but the Swahili king would not be mummified. Rather, he would not be allowed to die at all. His blood was replaced with a mysterious fluid that would allow him to potentially live forever. However, it would be a life of darkness and claustrophobia as he was placed in a casket and buried beneath the desert sands. The warrior king was not the only one buried, however, as a freak earthquake tore through the kingdom, ending the reign of Nephris before it began, and allowing the surviving Swahili to escape. And so, for 30 centuries, Nkantu remained entombed in darkness, unable to move as a living mummy. Then, finally, in the modern era, the paralyzing elixir wore off, and the living mummy dug his way out of his grave. With a madness fostered from 3,000 years of isolation, the former king rampaged through the streets of Cairo. With no concept of how much time had passed, Nkantu searched for Nephris, desperate to undo his fate. This search led the living mummy to Dr. Alexei Scarab, an anthropologist who was likely a descendant of Nephris. When the police arrived, the creature attempted to fight them off with a power line he ripped from the ground. However, a live wire struck the wet ground beneath the mummy's feet, sending an electric shock through his body, seemingly killing him. Dr. Scarab was intent on studying the creature, but the living mummy rose again, having come to his senses thanks to the shock. The reality of what he had become had finally dawned on him when the former king attempted to unravel his bandages, discovering the withered, ugly flesh underneath. And so the living mummy despaired, mourning the loss of his home, his people, and his very humanity. However, this was not the end for Nkantu, and in the years that followed, despite his monstrous appearance, the living mummy has attempted to use his strength as a force for good, fighting alongside heroes such as Ben Grimm, the Thing. He has befriended the monster hunter, Elsa Bloodstone, and has teamed up with other frightful creatures in groups such as the Howling Commandos and the Legion of Monsters. And that, my friends, is the origin of the living mummy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thanks to Gage Crawley for suggesting the topic. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave a comment, and share it on your favorite social media. Special thanks to the Patreon supporters who help make this possible. And as always, the issues referenced in this video are listed in the description below if you would like to read them for yourself, as well as links to other places you can find me. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!